It was a seemingly ordinary day in the quiet Welsh town of Llangollen. Trevaline Evans, a 52-year-old antique dealer, had opened her shop as usual on the morning of June 16, 1990. She was well known and well liked in the community, with many regular customers visiting her quaint store. But something unusual happened that day. At around 12:40 p.m., Trevaline placed a handwritten note on the door of her shop that read, "Back in 2 minutes." She left behind her purse, her keys, and her car, seemingly intending to return shortly. That was the last time anyone would see her. As the hours passed, concern began to grow. Trevaline's husband, Richard, was away renovating their summer cottage, unaware that his wife had disappeared. Friends and neighbors noticed the shop remained closed far longer than the 2 minutes Trevaline had promised. When she didn't return by the evening, alarm bells rang. What could have happened in those 2 minutes? Was it an innocent trip that led her into unforeseen danger, or was it something far more sinister? Her sudden disappearance would go on to baffle investigators and haunt the community for decades to come. Llangollen, nestled in the Welsh countryside, was the kind of town where everyone knew each other. It was a peaceful, close-knit community where the unusual stood out. When Trevaline Evans didn't return to her antique shop that afternoon, her absence was quickly noticed. Word of her disappearance spread fast. Concerned locals gathered around her shop, peering through the windows at her abandoned belongings. The purse she always carried with her lay untouched inside. Her car remained parked nearby, further deepening the mystery. For a town unaccustomed to such incidents, it was a shocking turn of events. Speculation grew as the hours passed. Was she simply delayed, or had something gone terribly wrong? As night fell, it became clear that this wasn't a simple case of a woman running a quick errand. Fear and confusion began to grip the town. Trevaline's family, unaware of the unfolding events, was contacted. Her husband, Richard, rushed back to Llangollen, unable to comprehend how his wife could have vanished without a trace. The small town's sense of safety was shattered. Where could she have gone? What happened in those 2 minutes? As search efforts intensified, the quiet streets of Llangollen were filled with a growing sense of dread. Something was terribly wrong, but no one could yet understand just how deep the mystery would go. When Trevaline Evans didn't return, the police were quickly called in. What started as a missing persons inquiry soon spiraled into one of the most perplexing investigations the small town of Llangollen had ever seen. Investigators began by retracing her final steps. Witnesses reported seeing Trevaline walking near the town center that afternoon, casually buying fruit and running small errands, giving no indication of distress. The note on her shop's door, "Back in 2 minutes," hung like a ghostly reminder of her sudden departure. Police hoped it would be a simple case of someone leaving temporarily and getting delayed, but as hours turned into days, that hope began to fade. The initial search covered the local area, with investigators focusing on the possibility that Trevaline had simply wandered off or met with an accident. Her purse, keys, and car remained untouched, fueling speculation that she hadn't intended to be gone for long. Could she have been abducted? Or did she leave voluntarily, as some would later theorize? The lack of any solid evidence baffled authorities. There were no signs of a struggle in the shop or on the surrounding streets. Witnesses had only seen her calmly walking around town, with no unusual behavior to report. The disappearance had occurred in broad daylight, in a busy area, making the absence of leads all the more puzzling. As the days passed, the case grew colder. Investigators turned to the public for help, urging anyone with information to come forward. But despite their best efforts, the trail went cold. With no clues, no suspects, and no new leads. Trevaline Evans had simply vanished, leaving behind a haunting mystery that would continue to elude answers. As the investigation dragged on, a series of strange clues emerged, yet none of them brought the police any closer to finding Trevaline Evans. Her disappearance was shrouded in mystery, and the theories surrounding her case grew more bizarre by the day. One of the most puzzling aspects was the note. Back in 2 minutes. What was so urgent that she left her shop in the middle of a workday without taking her purse, keys, or car? Investigators struggled to explain how someone could vanish so completely in such a short time. Locals began to speculate. Some believed Trevaline had planned her disappearance, citing her upcoming holiday plans and the possibility that she wanted to start a new life. Others thought foul play was involved. Could someone have abducted her? But there was no evidence of a struggle, no ransom demands, and no suspects. There were even reports of possible sightings of Trevaline after her disappearance, with several witnesses claiming to have seen her in various places around the UK. However, none of these leads turned up anything concrete. These mysterious sightings only deepened the intrigue, but they all led to dead ends. Adding to the complexity of the case, there were rumors of a troubled personal life. Some wondered if Trevaline had secrets, a hidden reason for leaving everything behind. Could she have been leading a double life? Or was there someone in her life who wanted her gone? Despite these theories and numerous search efforts, every clue seemed to raise more questions than answers. Each passing day left her family and the community with a growing sense of dread, unsure if they would ever learn the truth about what happened to Trevaline Evans. For Trevaline Evans' family, the sudden and unexplained disappearance was devastating. Her husband, Richard Evans, was away working on their holiday home when he received the terrifying news that his wife had vanished. He rushed back to Llangollen, only to be met with an eerie silence. No clues, no answers, just the empty shop with the haunting note left behind. In the days that followed, Trevaline's family struggled to make sense of what had happened. Her brother and other close relatives assisted in the search efforts, desperately hoping for any sign of her. But as days turned into weeks and weeks into months, hope began to fade. The frustration of not knowing what had happened to their loved one took an immense toll on the family. Richard Evans became a central figure in the public appeals for information. He made multiple pleas, appearing in the media and urging anyone who might know something to come forward. Despite his efforts, the investigation remained at a standstill. As time passed, the media coverage dwindled, but the family never gave up searching for answers. For the Evans family, the uncertainty was the hardest part. Without a body or any solid leads, they were left in a torturous limbo. Was Trevaline still out there somewhere, alive and waiting to be found? Or had something terrible happened to her that they might never fully understand? The emotional toll was immense. Richard Evans continued to live with the unanswered questions, unable to move on or gain closure. The pain of not knowing became a constant companion for the family, and even decades later, they are still searching for the truth behind Trevaline Evans' disappearance. As the years passed, the disappearance of Trevaline Evans remained an open case, one that left both investigators and the public baffled. With no conclusive evidence to suggest foul play and no body ever found, the question persisted. Could she still be out there, alive, somewhere? Some believed that Trevaline might have walked away from her life, possibly overwhelmed or dealing with personal issues that led her to leave without a trace. There were theories that she had staged her disappearance, and several unconfirmed sightings over the years only fueled these speculations. But why would she leave everything behind, including her purse and car, if she had planned to disappear? And how could she have managed to stay hidden for so long? Others remain convinced that Trevaline was the victim of foul play, possibly abducted in broad daylight. With no witnesses to the event and no clear signs of a struggle, this theory is equally perplexing. Could someone have targeted her? Perhaps someone she knew, who had the perfect opportunity to take her in those crucial 2 minutes? Or was it a chance encounter with a dangerous individual that led to her fate? In recent years, advances in technology have provided new hope for solving cold cases. DNA testing, digital forensics, and fresh investigative techniques have reopened many long-forgotten mysteries. Is it possible that one day, a piece of evidence will surface, finally revealing what happened to Trevaline? The unanswered questions remain haunting. After more than 30 years, her disappearance is still unsolved, leaving the possibility that one day, new evidence might emerge. Until then, the case of Trevaline Evans remains an open wound in the world of unsolved mysteries, with the hope that somewhere, somehow, the truth might finally come to light. The disappearance of Trevaline Evans is one of many unsolved mysteries that continue to captivate and perplex the public. What makes her case so chilling is not just the lack of answers, but the sheer ordinariness of the circumstances. A small-town woman, running an everyday errand, vanishes without a trace in broad daylight. No signs of a struggle, no witnesses, no clear motive, just a void where her life used to be. Over the years, her case has remained a constant source of intrigue for true crime. Enthusiasts and investigators alike. It serves as a stark reminder that not every mystery is solvable, that sometimes the truth slips away as quietly as the person involved. But Trevaline Evans's case isn't just a puzzle. It's a reminder of the fragile nature of human existence, how someone can be here one moment and then gone the next, leaving nothing but questions and an unsettling sense of loss. As the years have passed, the search for answers continues. And while investigators, both professional and amateur, keep searching for the truth, Trevaline's disappearance is a haunting example of how some mysteries remain hidden in the shadows, waiting for a light that may never come. The mystery of Trevaline Evans's disappearance has endured for over 3 decades, and it continues to haunt those who seek answers. Cases like these remind us that despite our best efforts, some stories remain unfinished, some puzzles unsolved. What happened in those 2 minutes? Could new technology or fresh eyes on the case finally break through the wall of silence? Or will this case join the ranks of other unsolved disappearances that time seems to have forgotten? Only time will tell. But until then, we are left with the chilling reminder that some mysteries refuse to give up their secrets. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you found this case as unsettling as I did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most perplexing mysteries. Who knows, maybe one day together we'll help solve the next one.